Have you ever felt like you're just throwing money at Facebook ads and kind of hoping for the best? Well, if that's you, you are in the right place. We're going to cut through all the noise and give you a simple, repeatable blueprint for running lead ad campaigns that actually get you results in 2026. All right, let's jump right in.
And this right here really hits the nail on the head. So many people think the platform is broken or that it's too complicated, but the truth is, you're not losing money because of some secret algorithm change. You're probably losing money because you're missing a few of the fundamentals. And today, we're going to fix that.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll cover the essential 3-level structure. Then, we'll talk about setting the right goal, how to budget smartly, and a really cool trick for capturing high-quality leads. And at the end, I'll give you a simple checklist so you can launch with total confidence.
Okay, before you even think about clicking a single button inside of Ads Manager, you have got to understand this. Success on Facebook isn't about finding some secret hack or just boosting posts and praying. It all, and I mean all of it, boils down to having a clean, logical structure.
Everything in the Meta Ads world works on these 3 levels. Think of it like this. The campaign level is at the very top. That's where you tell Facebook what your main goal is. The ad set level is the middle child, and it controls who you're showing the ad to and how much you're spending. And finally, the ad level. Well, that's what people actually see. You know, the picture, the video, the words. Each level has one specific job.
And this is why that structure is so powerful. It lets you run really clean tests. So imagine you're testing 2 different audiences, right? Maybe a younger one and an older one. This structure lets you show a specific ad to the younger group and a totally different ad to the older group to see which one works better. If you don't have this structure, you're just guessing. You're flying blind. Okay, so let's talk about that top level, the campaign. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. The very first choice you make, your campaign objective, is probably the single most important click you will make in this entire process. Here's the deal. Meta's algorithm is incredibly smart, but it's also incredibly literal. It does exactly what you tell it to do. So if you tell it you want traffic, guess what? It's going to find you an army of people who love to click on things, but not necessarily people who will ever become a customer. If you want leads, if you want people to actually fill out a form, you have to choose the leads objective. It's really that simple.
So we've told Meta what we want. Now we need to talk about the money, how much to spend. And look, a smart budget strategy isn't about spending a lot of money. It's about spending your money wisely so you can test and figure out what actually works.
Facebook basically gives you 2 ways to manage your budget. There's CBO, where you set one big budget for the whole campaign and let Meta figure out where to spend it. Now, for a beginner, that can be pretty risky. Meta might see one audience is getting slightly cheaper clicks and just dump all your cash there, even if your best potential customers are in a different audience. That's why we always recommend ABO, or Adset Budget Optimization. You set a specific budget for each ad set, which forces Facebook to test all of your audiences fairly. You're in control.
So what's a good number to start with? $20. You really don't need a massive budget to get going. A fantastic way to start is to create maybe 5 different ad sets, each targeting a different type of person, and just set a $20 daily budget for each one. That gives you enough data to see what's working without, breaking the bank.
Okay, so we've got our structure, we've got our goal, we've got our budget. Now for the fun part. How do we actually collect these leads? Well, we're going to use Meta's own instant forms, and we're going to add in a really powerful and kind of counterintuitive concept called friction. Now, I know this might sound a little crazy. Why would you want to make it harder for someone to give you their info? Well, it's because adding a little bit of friction is one of the absolute best ways to improve the quality of your leads. By making someone stop and actually type out an answer instead of just mindlessly clicking, you weed out all the tire kickers. The people who actually complete the form, they're way more serious.
So here's the 4-step recipe for a killer lead form. You start with something really easy, like a simple multiple choice question to get them started. Then, boom, you hit them with that friction. A short answer question. Something like, what's the number one thing you're struggling with right now? It makes them think. After they answer that, you collect the usual stuff. Name, email, phone number, and then you're on to the final step.
Oh man, this is such a classic mistake, and it's so easy to fix. That final thank you screen on your form, that is pure gold. Don't waste it by just saying thanks. You have their full attention. Give them a specific, urgent command. Tell them what to do right now to take the next step. Call this number. Click here to book a time. Drive that action immediately. All right, we have covered a ton of ground, so let's boil it all down into a final, super simple launch checklist. These are the things you absolutely have to get right.
First, remember, structure is everything. Get that campaign, ad set, ad hierarchy right. Second, be literal. If you want leads, pick the lead's objective. Third, use ABO for your budget so you can test your audiences fairly. Fourth, add that little bit of friction to your forms to get much better leads. And finally, and this one might be the hardest part, be patient. You have to let your ads run for at least 72 hours so Meta's algorithm can do its thing. Don't touch them.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that you need to stop looking for secret hacks and loopholes. Success with Facebook ads comes from building a solid, repeatable system. When you build the right foundation first, this whole thing stops being a gamble and starts being one of the most reliable ways to actually grow your business.